Welcome to We Are Venomaniacs, the Venom Site's official podcast for all of your symbiote news, reviews, and point of views. My name is Orion, and I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Carlos,
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Tyler,
Been 100 years.
and Aaron.
I don't have anything cringy to say, so hi.
Yes.
We got this covered, Aaron. Don't worry about it.
It's all cool. At long last, yes, we are back for reviewing new symbiote comics after the COVID-19 industry shutdown. Today, we're reviewing the long-awaited conclusion to Venom Island, Venom issue number 25, as well as Scream, Curse of Carnage number 6, which is the first issue of the second story arc and the series' first digital-only issue. More on that in a bit. So let's first recap what happened with Venom Island. Previously, Eddie went Duke versus Predator against a Cletus-less Carnage symbiote after it had captured the Venom symbiote, leaving Eddie nearly defenseless and save for a cache of weapons stored on Isla de Huesos. Eddie ended up losing a hand in battle before the Carnage symbiote finally took over Eddie and forcibly bonded itself to him. Meanwhile, Dylan experiments with his piece of the Carnage symbiote and establishes a link to the symbiote, which he uses to remote control Venom and transform it into a T-Rex to fight Carnage and save his father, leading us to this exciting finale. So, it really opens up first with a huge monologue by Eddie, and it's like a huge recap for everyone, and, I feel like it was a little bit appropriate, being that we've been now 2 months without Venom comics, and this is the first one coming out, so yeah, it felt like kind of like a welcome back to me, at least. How about you guys?
No, I'll agree with that. I feel like had this comic come out at the normal time it did, I don't think I would have liked it as much because it would have been like I'm getting recap for everything I know. But because of the large gap in between comics, I do appreciate the recap. It's like here's brief recap of everything that's been going down, and it was a nice framing device for him telling the Avengers just to sort of get everyone up to speed.
Well, my thing is that I am getting pretty tired, and this is just like my overall thoughts on like the entire run so far. Like I enjoy the book, and I am interested in seeing where it's going, but it's like we've been doing this null thing like non-stop besides for the first 2 issues of War of the Realms, but we're constantly getting recaps with a story that everyone pretty much already knows. I mean, this issue is a larger one, and like we'll discuss why that is later, but it had 9 pages of recap. There's no excuse for having 9 pages of recapping everything we already know. Just have 1 page. Say, hey guys, this is where it's at. And I agree that, yes, sure, it's fine that since like we have the virus going on, but even then, 9 pages of recap of stuff we've been hearing about since issue 1, there's no excuse for that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree with Aaron. Yeah, and Tyler. Yeah, we've seen this many times before. But again, I did like how Eddie was coming to terms with himself, and he was looking more inward at his character, and he was trying to see if after everything he's done, like was it the right thing, was it the wrong thing? But it's stuff that we kind of already know because he's been saying it for like the past few
25
issues. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, I would rebut with it's not just 9 pages of recap, solely just recap. It's also Eddie kind of coming to terms with himself, really, and everything he's done ever since becoming Venom for the first time. And we explored some of that in the War of the Realms tie-in issues when he was helping to defend the city and Dylan against what's his name? I'm blanking on his name.
Malekith?
Jack Lantern, or whatever his name is. Yeah, all that stuff. I don't even want to try to remember. But yeah, it was like I feel like this was some good exposition for Eddie's character, at least. Him finally coming to
No,
terms
it
saying,
was.
"Hey,
It was him. Yeah, it was him taking a long, good look at himself. Like I genuinely thought I was a good guy when I was trying to kill Spider-Man. Like, what was wrong with me? Like,
So that stuff was fun, and I like the monologue at the end too, like with the Avengers. But just I'm just getting so tired of hearing Noel is coming, Noel is coming. Here's what's happened. Here's
that's
what's happened.
completely fair.
It happens every 3 issues. I swear.
We're only going to get more of it, considering
it's like
event coming up.
It's like, again, another reminder, right? And even Eddie was remembering like all the cringy stuff and how he acted back in the day as Venom 2, and it's just like, I just hope after all this it's going to be a huge payoff. I'm really kind of interested to see where they're going to go with the whole thing with the Maker and the the potential of the ultimate Venom symbiote. And, we're also getting glimpses of the next story arc, which Venom apparently might be going into the future, perhaps. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be pretty negative in this podcast. And, y'all know that's just how I am. Like, I love, like, Venom to death. Like, I love this series. I just have a lot of issues. And I was going to say something, I forgot what it was. But I just want something else to happen in this series besides no. And then even then, we thought
days of Daniel Way's Venom.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true. But even then, you had like 3 arcs that were about like different villains. But like even then, we were saying like Absolute Carnage is going to be the tipping point, dude. There's going to be all this stuff happens, and then it's just God is coming, times 2. Like if we had regular arcs in between all of this Null stuff, I think it'd be fine. It's just way too much now that we're 25 issues in and we've had nothing besides Null. But
I mean, I will say for this, we did get to see, in this issue, Eddie, he's possessed and taken over by the new Carnage symbiote, if you want to call it that.
In quotation marks, yeah.
Yeah.
New Carnage symbiote, same as the old one.
So as I was reading it, I was like had a feeling like at this point, I think the new Carnage symbiote inherits the consciousness of Cletus in some way. So I don't know how that's going to play into effect and later down the issues, because, as you guys read, that the Carnage symbiote is alive and he just went into the ocean as a shark, which you guys pointed that out, making like a joke about it. And also too, like, it was kind of, I mean, finally, Dylan, he revealed he has powers, and Eddie, he doesn't care about that. He just wants his son safe, and it did have some flaws, but it still was enjoyable to some certain degrees. So it wasn't completely.
You still had an awesome Mark Bagley drawn fight sequence between a Venom T-Rex and Carnage.
Yeah,
yes.
Great.
And there's the panel in particular where I think Mark shouldn't have put a mouth on like
the certain area.
Oh,
if I'm
there were some mouths all over the T-Rex, but that was definitely an awkward place to put one.
But yeah, like his art is always amazing. I don't know, man. I'm just getting kind of worn down with the story.
There's that one specific panel that I really loved where it was in the Mindscape and Cletus, like it's Cletus's head, but his head's melting off, and it's like the Carnage.
Oh yeah, like it's like it looks like looks like a clicker from The Last of Us. What it looked like, I thought.
That was pretty freaky. I won't lie, but also too, like in the issue, like when I was reading on when Eddie was talking to the Avengers, and I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here, Mark? Why does Thor look like Eddie? Like, what's going on here? It looks exactly the same.
I mean, I think they're both written by Kate, so so I want to say Kate's has a type, but
and then of course Carol seems to still have the hots for Venom.
Yeah, I don't.
You mean Eddie's beard?
Yeah, it's fun to meme on, but it is kind of cringy. But
I think it's fun.
It's funny, like yeah, sure. It's always fun to say, well, she likes Venom, so Venom's a cool guy. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool, but
And Sleeper continues saving Dylan, who's falling off rooftops. So
yes.
It burns.
It
burns.
It's kids love Venom, ladies love Eddie.
Yeah. And like I will say this, there was a lot of backlash from that line too, and I think a large problem is that we've not had a whole lot of women in this book. So hopefully down the line that'll happen. But I mean, yeah, it was kind of weird just to have that line when we've had basically no women in this book at all. But
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, definitely needs some more female presence in this book. It's kind
Venom
of a sausage
2099.
party here.
And
another female symbiote we'll get to.
So let me say this too. When we got that the issue was going to be postponed, they had the updated cover, and on the front, like what does it say? It says a Lethal Protector reunion
in the Mighty Marvel Manor.
Oh, and what did we think it was going to be, guys? We thought,
it's going to be a character,
Carlton Drake. It's going to be Scream.
Is it going to be the jury?
Yeah. But
and then it's just a creative team reunion for a backup story.
So that was kind of disappointing. We were kind of hoping, Scream was finally going to meet.
I mean,
I wasn't really disappointed. I didn't even remember that was even advertised. So I had no expectations coming in. And when I read this book and I saw, wait a minute, there's a second story. And oh my gosh, it's written by David McLinney and illustrated by Ron Lim. It's like, wow. That was surprising to me.
I was surprised too because I'm like, oh, David's back. He gets to do a little story. I mean, I thought it was great. I mean,
it was fun. It was hella fun.
It was fun, but it's literally nothing we haven't seen before. It was literally like, oh, bad guys. I kill the bad guys. I'm Venom. Good job. It's literally David McLean. He did the exact same thing in 150. Right? He had a story with Ron Lim. And it's like Venom shows up, hey, bad guys, let me take care of them. I'm good. It was the exact same thing.
So, do we want to talk about that now? So, do we want to move off of the main story now?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next story.
So, it's Eddie likes peaches, and then he's like, we should call ourselves something other than Venom. Vengeance. There we go. And then
but here's the thing, though. This was a much-needed break from God is Coming ×5 every other issue. I thought
for me, I was disappointed with this last story because it was literally you're complaining about Null over and over. I'm complaining about David McElhinney writing the same story over and over.
I mean, how old's the guy now? I mean, just give the guy a break. He doesn't want to do this. They're saying, "Hey, we're doing another big Venom issue. You want another paycheck?"
He can say no.
Hey, give me one more. Give me one more Michelini story, and this time have him reunite with Mark Bagley, and I would be. I'd be fine.
Has he written anything else besides these Venom stories? Do we know? Because it feels like they're just saying, "Hey, you want some extra cash? Just write this Venom story for us." So, but anyway, but here's my thoughts on this. So Tyler, you kind of made a joke about the vengeance thing, and I still frequent Tumblr sometimes, but I saw a lot of support for that because it's just showing that hey, Venom isn't just the suit; it's whatever relationship the suit and like the person has at that time. So it's kind of cool that they moved away from that name Venom and now their name something else because they don't stand for, murdering Spider-Man anymore, at least in that moment. And we also got one more character, some new lore, Aunt Martha.
Except it's Martha already.
Why'd you say that name? Why did you say that name?
Cancer, so that's probably just another
Martha.
Video.
Yeah. So I mean that was cool. We get some more lore.
Who died from cancer? Who died from cancer?
Yeah. So I mean we didn't ask Kate if she's actually canon now, but
I mean, oops.
Who knows?
Hey, Michelini wrote it. It's canon.
Yeah, of course. But so did everything else he wrote in Lethal Protector.
And
so look for how that wound up.
What was nice about this story was that it actually explained where Eddie even got that cache of weapons on the island, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it kind of ties into that. So yeah, I did notice that too.
Yeah. I will say, when we first heard of Venom Island, this certainly wasn't what I was expecting. I was definitely, well, of course, I'm always hoping for like the biggest, coolest, most explosion-y Michael Bay thing ever, right? But
Venom T-Rex, all right.
yeah, I mean, the Venom T-Rex is cool, but I will say, Psych, who runs the Venom vlogs, kind of said the same thing. A Venom T-Rex is something we've already seen, and it's just something, we could, oh, dude, there's a Venom T-Rex, wow, dude, it's so freaking cool. There's no logical sense that it would make a T-Rex, and
But the
it's
thing
cool
was, it was
and
a
all.
kid's idea. It was a kid's idea of the
Sure,
book.
yeah,
Of course
sure.
And I think Dottie just was pandering. It's fan service, right? Because everyone likes the Venom T-Rex form, right? So I'm pretty sure he did it for fan service.
But it's not even the same design from Old Man Logan.
Yeah, it's an alternate universe, dummy.
Totally.
and it has a mouth in its crotch.
Yeah, right.
Well, I would say overall, I enjoyed this issue. I agree that I know that our friend Eddie's mullet here on the Discord was saying how he felt it was lazy that most of the pages in the first story was just Eddie's face talking.
I mean, there was like 3 of them. There were 9 panels of his face.
I agree that was a bit repetitive, but I'll say that yes, that's the overall sentiment, is that we're getting tired of the whole Null's coming, the whole thing. Just let him come already.
I can understand the complaints, but I'm still enjoying the book.
Yeah,
I mean, I am too, and I'm still buying all of the variants. Like we're shills. We just want to talk honest about it. And now, so I think Sykes said he's actually going to take a break from the book, but I think we're too engaged, and we can't stop. They got us.
We're contractually obligated to continue reading this thing.
I'm gonna come onto the podcast and say I didn't read the book and just listen to you guys the whole time.
I mean,
I respect the man for doing it, but I mean, we're just pulled on by the leash. We can't stop.
With your wallets, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's our pretty much our flagship book, and obviously. We're obviously going to still read it, come high water, low water. Not every issue is going to be a home run, and some issues will have its highs and lows. But it is a journey to go through. So yeah.
And I think it's So I also want to say that it's pretty important that we do buy the book, because something could happen, like with what happened to Scream. So, and I guess we'll talk about that in a second. But I would say. Buy the book physically, please. If you want to buy it physically, because there's some stuff happening right now that's not in anyone's control, sadly.
Yeah, so. I mean, because we're going through this pandemic, so yeah.
One thing we didn't talk about for the book is that Future Tease page by Ryan Stegman.
Yes.
So, you got some
pretty
new
cool
characters there, and
pretty cool,
big stuff looking like, I assume that big Null event is going to involve.
Yeah. Now, wasn't the Web of Venom Wraith issue supposed to be out by now?
Yeah, but
I don't think it was supposed to be. What was it? Well, I mean, it was supposed to come out after this issue, right?
But
it's not even scheduled yet.
Yeah, so I think I would be more excited about that page if we had maybe some more context into what happened in that Wraith issue, because it seems like Wraith is going to play a big part of what's going to happen. And I think the free comic book is by now the free comic book.
We're still waiting.
Too, so.
We're still waiting for them to put a date, because
right now.
It does kind of make that page kind of
Yeah,
still
without
big
the context of those other 2 books. Yeah, so
and whoever Mr. Tall and Black is, Mr. Null Light or whatever.
Probably maybe Eddie in the future. Maybe it's
or
Dylan
Dylan.
In the future. Now, we have said Kate's has said that is a brand new character, so it's not Wraith. It's someone new. So
that's what everyone else was thinking on Twitter, because I saw people like, is that Wraith in the symbiote armor? And then people were also guessing, oh, is that going to be Lee Price in the virus Venom armor? And I'm like, no.
Lee Price is not.
It might be related to the Ultimate Venom symbiote.
Well, people people were pointing out, could it be Ultimate Eddie Brock possibly? We don't know. So,
well, my thing is, we've jumped to so many thoughts and like Absolute Carnage and all these other ones that it seems like the most obvious answer now is what's going to be happening. So, I think it's just going to be the obvious answer. It's just going to be Dylan in the future, or it's going to be Eddie in the future. But we'll see. But
I
Virus,
like Eddie's
know
mullet in the chat says new comic today was supposed to kick off the next step in Null's never-ending story. I'm just imagining like Null on the back of the Grendel, like yeah.
So that's something we can get drawn to be funny.
So again,
that's funny. Yeah.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta just hopefully, Marvel decides to put out the new comic book day whenever, but like I really want to read that issue so bad. So
didn't I see they were moving that to July, maybe, or maybe I'm just
that was a rumor.
Something.
That was
a rumor. Okay.
Nothing has been confirmed. No talk has
either
happened.
way.
Yeah.
Kind of lame.
Anyway, so that's our review of number 25.
Wait.
And we won't be getting
the hand.
Oh well. I mean, he still doesn't have.
I don't like the hand. I like it being full stock.
It's gone. It's gone. What can you do?
I don't like the hand. But here's the thing: it's still sitting there. Why don't they just go find it?
Look, animal ate it. All right, animal was running away. It ate the hand.
No, they can just go find it.
Eat human flesh, okay?
If all of them are Venom Carnage eyes, they can just go find the hand. They can at least just go look for it.
But yeah, no,
please.
Or they could just make him a synthetic hand instead.
I'd hoped he would get it back normally, but I don't know. I
want that hand back. I don't want to have figures in like 5 years of Eddie without a hand. I'm not gonna like it.
You can make one right now. You can make one right now.
Yeah, just cut it off.
I'm not gonna like it.
I mean, he's
stock Eddie back.
Now he's reached Flash Thompson status in a way.
Yeah, well, not that bad.
We're all
they can't have
severed. The symbiote loves people with severed limbs.
I suppose, but it's just that's it, guys. It lied that it can't heal the hand, so it has to, so that Eddie has to like rely on him more. Still in a toxic relationship, guys. It's awful.
Yep.
It's awful.
And Peaches.
Yep. All right, so yeah, that's it for Venom 25, and it's going to be a while until we get number 26 again, which I'll discuss it at the end of the podcast. But next up, we move on to Scream: Curse of Carnage number 6. Now, recent news came out, and this is just a little disappointing. Not really for me, since I don't get physical comics, but this series has now gone to digital only, which means that single issues published monthly will only be published digitally on Comixology and the Marvel Comics app. There will be no books printed, so you can't get this at the comic book store anymore.
Variants.
Yeah, the variants are all
Rip
gone.
The variants.
Boo.
The variants are gone.
Boo.
And the trade paperback collections will be printed when they come out, but single issues were out now. And it's a real shame, especially after this issue, because this is the first issue of the next arc, and it was an oversized issue, and it was amazing, to put it simply. At least for me. I don't know about you guys.
100%. No, I've been on the Scream train the whole time, and I'm absolutely agreeing. I adore this book.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always kind of on books in general. I'm not hating it, I'm just kind of indifferent still. But I do think that it is pretty kind of jarring, but I mean, it's kind of cool that we went from this maintained arc that was the fallout from Absolute Carnage, and we had Big Mother, and now it kind of jumps to a story about Kingpin and Sandman and Punisher, which is,
you're
which is
the one who
cool.
was just saying in Venom you want arcs in between.
Hey, hold up. I'm not finished. I think that was kind of jarring, but I do think it's pretty cool that we're going to see Scream fighting against other people. I'm just saying with Venom, it just took way too long. So, so like at least Scream isn't staying focused on the Null stuff. So
Yeah, I don't think there was a single mention of Null at all, was there?
well, like, you know what I mean, like Big Mother and
there's
No, I'm just saying this
and
issue
stuff like that.
Yeah, this issue had almost nothing to do with Null. Like, the only thing it had anything to do with, even remotely related to that, is just some fallout from Absolute Carnage. But even that,
which is still cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Curse of Carnage because you got to sell books. So
now, like what I'm gonna say is that I was kind of a little hesitant at first because I thought to myself, Scream going up against with Sandman and Punisher, and I'm like, that's a very strange combination to put her against, right? Because I'm like saying to myself, is this gonna work? And then as I'm reading the issue, I'm like, okay, I see what Clay's doing here. Okay, I'm in. And actually, it surprisingly works out well, the whole plot of this issue. So I was actually impressed. It was actually a really good read.
Yeah, and I'll say I think it was a very strong start to a new arc and introducing what I really love, the fact that he's reaching so far into the obscure Marvel history, grabbing these two pages I think they appeared on, villains called the Creeps. Just from an X-Men blockbuster PSA. And
so what do these guys do? They just abduct kids?
They tried to abduct Jubilee, and that was it.
Okay.
Like she called police over. And it was just like a throwaway stranger danger PSA. But now I love that Clay has twisted this into making them like horror villains that are locking up children in a basement. And I just think that's a very cool thing to do, especially digging in the continuity like that.
There was a distinct theme in this issue about child endangerment and abuse and all of that between the Sandman and Punisher story, in which they were hunting down a pedophile, and then the Creeps kidnapping children and basically keeping them locked away until they die. And then in the end, Mrs. Demogoblin makes her return, and she has a cult of kids now working for her.
Yeah, this.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. This reminded me of the Toxin series we got, years. Well, at least 15, 14 years ago.
Thing with the Razor Fists cult or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yes, that was cool. And I don't think we ever got any finale to all those kids who actually went out and started murdering people.
No, they didn't. Anyway, that was just a teaser where these murderous kids are in the wild, I guess.
So it is cool. We get to see Shriek kind of back as this like Demogoblin thing. I still don't. I'm not entirely sold on her being Demogoblin, Same. But I'm interested to see what happens because it looks like there's going to be some hell power things happening later.
Some trade-off maybe with Scream maybe taking the demon out of her or something.
Yeah, so Scream can maybe take it off. And I'm also interested if we're going to see Doppelganger in this too, because he usually follows along with her. Isn't he in Ravencroft? He's in Ravencroft, right?
He was in Ravencroft, but one of the last things that happened in Ravencroft that, along with all the other inmates, Doppelganger did escape. So
interesting.
Yeah. Now I'll make one note is that I know that it was just later tied into Demogoblin's reappearance, but the kids that were following her, they were going around painting pumpkins, like graffiti pumpkins, and to me, I was thinking, oh man, does this have something to do with Jack-o'-lantern? And are we finally going to get Jack-o'-lantern versus Andy again?
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. So how would y'all feel if Jack hooked up with Demogoblin instead of Cletus now that he's dead?
I would be fine at this point. I mean, Cletus is apparently dead, so I'm fine with Shriek.
I don't like that either.
And
but anyway,
also from the next issue, it kind of implies that Demogoblin might take the Screen symbiote and bond to her. Apparently, if that's what I saw from the source.
Yeah,
we think that's Andy taking the demon like somehow with her hell mark. That's
so using her Super Cooper hell powers.
Yeah,
and hopefully she gets a new design because I still think it's kind of disingenuous to make it look like the original Scream and to like age Andy up just so she looks like Donna when she's not Donna. But
well, she's partially got a new design. It's like she doesn't have the black face typically. She has the.
Well,
that sounds bad.
Well, I would say that was just how Mooney draws Scream, but he's still trying to make it look like the classic Scream, just in his own little, like design twist.
I actually don't mind it.
Cool fan art designs. So.
Oh yeah, like there's lots of cool art where Scream looks more of like fire, and you have like the Mania spikes and Mark. Yeah, like there definitely is some cool things you could do with the design, and obviously now that the book is online only means that there's not a lot of folks reading the book, and I promise you those guys will not care if you give her a new design. Right. So
but I will say that something else I appreciate about the book is the fact that I thought I was worried about Punisher and Sandman guest starring together in the same issue with her. And it's like, it's a lot of heroes to deal with, but I thought it was handled very well. And not only do we get to see the Punisher in his classic look with the white boots and everything, which I thought was kind of cool, but we got to see Sandman in, I'm the bigger Spider-Man fan here, but we got to see Sandman in like a bit of a heroic role again, which is something they've sort of been pushing a bit. I know in Zdarsky's Spectacular, he was kind of being friendly with Spider-Man. And so I really appreciate it because there was a point when Sandman was on the Avengers, and so it was sort of like a win for Spider-Man where he did rehabilitate a villain. And so I thought it was really cool that Sandman was basically in the same he was on Scream's side essentially. They just didn't know each other were fighting for the same thing. He was trying to bring this guy to justice, Punisher trying to kill the guy, and then Scream didn't want to kill the guy. So it was, I really appreciated the character interactions, especially now that Punisher knows who Andy is apparently.
Yeah, it was just like I thought that was random. Like, how did they even know like what he's about?
She returned to the scene of the crime.
He's the Punisher. But like, it was pretty cool. Sandman and him didn't overstay their welcome. They were kind of just there and gone in like 5 pages. So, do we want to discuss this new friend Andy has? Because I don't.
I was about to bring that up, and I was because I was gonna say Tyler, because you made a point about this on Twitter, and you kind of like were kind of guessing about the whole flirting thing between her and Andy.
Yeah, I mean, even the symbiote's like, what are these feelings? So
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool because we haven't had any hint at Andy's sexual orientation before. So if she's bi or lesbian, I think that's cool representation for people. But
you mean all that fan art of her and Flash isn't canon? What?
Shut up about that.
Bruh.
We don't talk about that, Aaron. So, but
I know it's set on your hard drive. You can't lie to me.
No, shut up. That's gross. But anyway, I should say Flash alarm. Wee-oo. She did mention him when talking about the Punisher. Because does she even know that Flash was teammates with the Punisher? Because she was insulting the Punisher.
Probably not.
Like, this would be Flash if he didn't get over his PTSD. And then even the Punisher.
But the Punisher has legs, though. So.
Wow.
I do like how the Punisher's like, we make a good team, and she's like, screw you.
That was pretty cool.
But yes, I enjoyed it. I'm still reading Venom and Scream. I'm just kind of indifferent. I mean, that's how I've always been. But
yeah.
So
here's
but buy the book, please.
Yes, there's the
because
important
what? Because I know Ghost Rider is also online only, and
Valkyrie.
If we don't, yes, and it also kind of sucks because they don't release the numbers of their online book, so this book could be canceled at any freaking second. So please buy it. Stop using those stupid websites.
Yeah.
Buy it, please.
Now that it's online only, it's definitely in an extreme danger zone where I would be incredibly surprised if we get solicited more issues past 10.
Yes.
But I'm crossing my fingers that we do. At the very least, I'd want 12 issues, but no, I'm going to take whatever I can get.
So my thing is, I think they would still get more if they still had it in print, because even then, like, this issue was supposed to have 4 variants, and I know folks buy all 5 of them, and they get them signed, all that stuff. I just think that they would still get more money if it was still in print, because if it's online, all the folks that do online already know what the like illegal sites are, so why would they go out of their way just to buy it?
Now that's something I want to point out as well, is this whole digital only initiative now that Marvel is using on certain books. Is this Marvel's kiss of death for these books? Is this them saying, hey,
Yes.
this is it, these books are on their
100%
last
is.
legs? Because
It 100% is.
it would be nicer if it was like, these books are in danger, but if there's an avenue where we could move them back into a print a print publication, that'd be great. Say, hey, if it meets a certain quota, let's reconsider publishing it print again or something.
Yeah. Now, I think this series would have had a strong leg to stand on. It could probably push 50 issues if it was still Donna. But, that's just...
No.
The whole
I don't
just
think
me.
it would have mattered. I really don't think it was.
Yeah,
different.
no.
I mean, like I'm enjoying the book, and after reading issue 6, like I want this to continue. Right, it's really unfortunate the circumstances of what's going on in the world today, but I hope that this series can last as much as it can, and if it does get canceled, I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future it could get relaunched and they could just call it Scream, but that's just wishful thinking at this point. But
So here's my thing too. I also said online when they first said that it was online only, is that Andy Bitton is just cursed. She can't have anything, dude.
Look,
she's just
I'll
cursed.
take what she is getting. All right.
Yeah, for 5 more issues.
I mean, yeah, we wanted this
More
for
issues
so
than
long.
Nova got. All right. Justice
Sure,
for
but even
Nova.
then, when Scream gets canceled, she's just going to be at the mercy of Donny Cates. And
Why must the good die young?
I don't know if we want that, but I don't know, man. Just buy it, even though you don't want to.
Yeah,
Buy it. If you don't like digital, buy it anyway.
Buy it anyway.
Yeah,
Support this book.
So yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just making a quick note. The quality has not at all dropped. The story is still great. We still get great art from Chris Mooneyham. We still get a great story from man. Why am I blanking?
Clay.
Yeah, I
Clay.
keep on blanking on these names. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Clay Chapman. So
Clay Chapman, sorry. I said McLeod.
yeah. so yeah, it's like nothing has changed with this book. The only thing that has changed is where it is available. So, I mean, I know you want to support your comic shops, guys, but if you really love this series, continue to support it by buying digital.
And you
Your
can buy
wallets.
the trade later, so...
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm 100% going to. Like, I don't usually
buy
buy
the
the
trade.
book in the trade, but in this case, I'm going to because I love the book that much. But I will say I didn't touch on the art at all because you brought up the artist Mooneyham. I will say that I think I like him better than Gary Brown, who was doing most of the issues in between. Like I know Mooneyham did the first issue, I believe, and he did the Thor backups for the other issues. But I really love Mooneyham. The Punisher Sandman Scream fight was gorgeous. Like it just fits the book so well, and absolutely. Gary Brown didn't do a bad job, but I just really love Mooneyham.
Yeah, and I would say his Demogoblin is pretty rockin' as well.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah, she
pretty
gets
good,
a
yeah.
tiny little redesign. That's not a huge deal. She just has some more, some more. I don't know how you want to say it. She has a more cloth on her this time.
More cloth, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool, I guess.
I mean, again, for me, like I had to sign up for the subscription service because I want to support this title digitally now, right? But I mean, personally, for me, like I'm a physical comic book guy. But if this is how if this is my way of supporting the book, I'll gladly do it because Scream has been a really fun ride. And for all the listeners out there, I give Venom number 25 a 7 out of 10, and for issue 6 of Scream, Curse of Carnage, I give it a 9 out of 10.
And also, when you buy it online, make sure you rate it, because I like seeing like which ones always sell the most, or like what are the popular books, because you see like 35 folks like rated this one. So like if you buy it online, make sure you rate it so they actually see, oh well, like all these folks are enjoying the book, let's just keep doing it. So make sure you go back and rate the book too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. So to echo Carlos, I would say Venom 25. I would say I would give it an 8 maybe out of 10, because I still enjoyed it, even though I am a bit tired of the whole
Yeah,
No,
I'll give it a 7.5
no.
yeah.
I'll give Venom a 7 out of 10. Too much Null. And
Or Null is coming.
Yeah,
And
Scream. Scream was all right. I'll give Scream a 7 too, just because I'm always kind of
I'll give Scream a
indifferent to
10.
stuff.
Scream is a 10 for me, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100% a 10 here as well. Love it. All right, well, that wraps up today's episode. Now, it's unclear whether we will be back with more comic reviews until July, since there will be no new Venom issues in June, and Scream Curse of Carnage number 7 has not been scheduled for publication yet. But we will be back in a week for a special episode to tide you over. Join us Saturday, June 13th at 11 a.m. Pacific Time / 2 p.m. Eastern Time on our Discord server for a live recording featuring guest host and Scream Curse of Carnage writer Clay McLeod-Chapman. We're super excited to have Clay join the show for a special episode. Who knows, maybe you'll even get a chance to ask him a question during our live recording, but only if you join the audience on Discord, so get registered. You can listen to We Are Venomaniacs on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music and iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube. We can also be found on Twitter at WAV_podcast. Check out our Discord server where you can geek out with a community of Venomaniacs like us. As always, thanks to my fellow co-hosts Carlos, Tyler, and Aaron for joining me today.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yep, glad to be here, as always.
And thanks to the Venom site for permitting us to make this podcast under the TVS banner and all of your generous support. And finally, thank you, loyal listeners and fellow Venomaniacs. You guys make an awesome community, and it's an honor to be your voice on the airwaves. Together, we are Venomaniacs. And now, a word from one of our partners at The Collective, a network of superhero podcasts.
Hey everyone, this is Brian, the host of Inner Demons, the Ghost Rider podcast. And since 2017, Inner Demons has been the best place on the web for news, reviews, and regular discussion with our listeners about Marvel's Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider. You can find us on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast catchers, as well as on Twitter at InnerDemonsGR. Remember, listening to your Inner Demons is not always a bad thing. Ride on.